What is up, guys? It is Tate Singleton of the Backyard Podcast. This is our first episode. I'm here with my co-host, Toby Landreth.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right, so today we're just going to be talking about pretty much anything and everything. One of our first topics that I really wanted to talk about here today is COVID-19. So, I mean, a lot of people have kind of forgotten about it in a lot of ways. Wouldn't you say so, Toby? It's kind of like died down a little bit in some
Yeah,
ways.
I don't think it needs to die down. Like us personally, we don't need to worry about the virus, but like we need to take the precautions so that people that do have to worry about it probably should.
Right, and I saw recently that the U.S. actually we've hit our highest case numbers ever. It was 116,000 something. So COVID numbers are actually only like growing more, and I think that could cause a lot of interesting developments in the coming months. I've personally never been really affected by COVID-19. I don't know about you, but I haven't been. But I just think it's really interesting to kind of see those case numbers continue to rise. Um,
Yeah, I
in these winter
mean,
months.
other than my brother, like he got quarantined again because of close contact, but he's never directly been like been a confirmed case of COVID, so
Right. Yeah,
we're all safe.
I got quarantined a few weeks back, sometime in October, because of that. I've known quite a few people that have had COVID. I know when it first started, we're talking about like March, and then going into June, I really didn't know anybody. But with the school year starting up, I've known quite a few people that have said that they have had COVID, and they've described how terrible it is and like how awful. You can't like taste or smell anything in a lot of these cases. But I think it was really interesting, kind of just like how coming back to school, things kind of like changed in the way they did.
Well, like actually, with coming back to school, um, my mom's side of the family, we've always all been really close. Well, like we've all been disowned, basically,
Really?
since my mom decided to give us the choice. She gave us the choice, me, my brother, and sister. Now that I'm 18, she gave me that choice if we wanted to go to school, and we all three said yes.
Yeah.
Well, like my aunt just had a baby, and my grandma is within the age range where it's unsafe to be around her. So we took that precaution. I mean, we knew we had to do that. We were going to do everything we could to like make sure we could still stay in contact with them. FaceTime, text, call, everything like that. But they didn't like that, especially my aunt, and she really went off on my mom. Bad things happened, but things are slowly healing back. I know we're not the only family that's probably gone through that. I know it's a hard thing to go through. I
Right.
mean, it's just a part of what's going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have yet to be tested for COVID, but everyone in my family has. I think my brother was tested for it. My dad, with his job, has been tested for it. My mom's actually a nurse, and she's been kind of not on the front lines, but she's definitely been like on floors in hospitals with COVID cases, and she's kind of had to deal with that, putting on a bunch of gear, dealing with COVID patients, which is just a surreal thing to think about. Really, sometimes my mom will come up to me and be like, "Hey, you should be a nurse," and I'm just kind of like, not really. But I think it's really interesting though. I think COVID has kind of made me even more interested in kind of the world of healthcare and what these people do. So just to think about like even handling somebody with a COVID case is so surreal and interesting to think about.
Yeah, I like that actually is something to think about. Like, I wonder if the number of like doctors and nurses and EMTs and all that. I don't know if there's a different. I think that I don't know. I think there's a different jobs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they are, but I wonder if that number is like going to go up after this. Like those people see those people now. I mean, those are heroes right
Right.
now. So I mean, people are like, oh, I want to do that. And I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if it went up.
It could definitely go up, but I've also thought, maybe this has kind of gotten people scared a little bit of like having those like huge, huge responsibility jobs of being a doctor, being a nurse, on the front lines. I think maybe they might stop, maybe they might not be as interested, which would be terrible. But I also see your side where I completely agree. People could be super interested in
Yeah.
doing something like that. So I think we're going to move on to our next topic, here at Backyard Studios. We love media of
Yeah.
all kinds. We love film. We love music. We love TV. I kind of wanted to talk about some of the like more recent films that we've seen and just kind of discuss it because I know COVID-19, transitioning has kind of brought upon a little bit of a film drought, but there's
Yeah.
still some great stuff out there. Have you seen anything really awesome yet, Toby?
The last thing I saw was actually with you when we went and saw Tenet. You know, Rewatching Mandalorian, but other than that, I mean, I watched Tenet in the theaters. That was the last movie I really watched in the movies. You know, we watched some classic horror films on Halloween. Halloween actually,
Yeah, the
Halloween
movie Halloween on Halloween.
1, 2, and 3, and oh my gosh, Halloween 3 is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Have you ever seen it?
I have not. No, I saw the Halloween reboot that came out a few years ago, but I never saw the actual original. Like,
Yeah, you ever
Hall-
seen the like
no, I
original
haven't. I really need
2?
to. I really need
Yeah,
to.
like watch the first two. They're really good. They're like the epitome of like home film. Like they were made off a shoestring budget.
Really.
Literally, the mask Michael Myers wears is a William Shatner mask painted white. For those of you who don't know, William Shatner was Captain Kirk in Star Trek.
As far as you were talking about Tenet earlier, that was like the last like big
Oh
movie you
yeah.
saw. I mean, Tenet was kind of like is kind of like the only like huge major release to kind of come out during this pandemic in theaters. And seeing that, was kind of like a big return to the theaters for a lot of people. I feel like, including you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but Tenet was a great return to theaters. I would
Oh
say Tenet was amazing.
yeah.
A lot of people kind of came into it and they left being really confused and they weren't really happy with it. But personally, I was really happy with Tenet. I love
It
Tenet.
it was like a happy confusion
A
that
happy
I left with.
confusion. Yeah, you could say
Like
that. Yeah.
I understood the premise and I understood what happened, but there was like I'm trying not to give away spoilers, but there was like a whole like weird thing to it. Like there was a few plot holes I didn't understand.
Hmm.
Like I don't think that he did like the director did it himself. I can't remember what the director's name was.
Christopher Nolan. This is one of the
Yeah.
most legendary directors. Yeah.
I'm terrible with his name.
That's
I always
fine.
forget it.
I get it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Christopher Nolan, he always has weird mind-boggling movies, but like
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are just too far. I've actually never seen Inception.
Inception. Oh my gosh. Actually, before Tenet came out, they were putting Christopher Nolan films back in theaters. I remember Regal Movies actually has closed again recently, but for a while Regal was open and they were playing Inception and Interstellar. And I actually went to go see those with my friends, and they were great to see in theaters. I mean, Christopher Nolan films, I feel like you have to see in theaters to get like the best experience.
Yeah, yeah,
Just because they're such mind-boggling epics, especially
yeah,
Tenet being more on the mind-boggling side of things.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, a happy confusion that I left with
Yeah.
because I understood what happened in the end, but it was more like I wanted to know more about the movie. Like I figured, like I actually went home and I watched a video on YouTube about it.
Yeah. As far as other movies go, I know, Mulan was a big thing people were talking about before the pandemic. They were excited for that and also kind of worried because, Disney is a whole like live action thing, like
Yeah,
live action remake thing, but not even talking about the content of the movie itself because I have yet to see it.
me and you actually talked about this, didn't we?
What do you mean? I don't remember what.
About how it's like okay, we understand the content and everything,
Mhm.
but like $30
That's what I
to
was gonna
watch
say.
the
No, that's what I
movie.
was gonna say because the thing is, Disney didn't want to release this movie. Well, they want to come out, but like during a pandemic in theaters, they're not gonna do that because I feel like I guess Disney is a lot more cautious about that. Even though Tenet's numbers I think were great, but the thing
Oh yeah.
is, they released it on Disney Plus. But you have to pay, in addition to the $7 a month membership for Disney
Uh-huh.
Plus, $30 to get access to Mulan, which
Yeah,
I don't think anybody like for an at-home experience wants to pay $30 to see a
like I
new
mean,
movie.
that's why people like watch movies at home because they're like to like some movies to buy they're like $3 or even to rent they're just like $2.
Yeah. And charging 10 times that amount. I mean, yes, it's a new movie, and yes, it's like a remake of a classic, but still, $30 is just way too much. So I know a lot of people that resorted to pirating that. I cannot believe
Yeah,
anybody would pay $30 to see Mulan on streaming like that.
yeah.
But in other news, in better news for the movie world, I guess you haven't seen this yet, but have you heard of the new Borat movie?
I have,
Yeah.
and I heard that it wasn't that good.
Really?
Yeah, I like okay. I understand like we have to get political around right now, but like
Hmm.
that was just what was personally told to me by someone who had already seen it. I've never seen the movie, but they told me it was just too political and that it wasn't like the original. And I mean, for the most part, everyone knows that's how sequels usually are. They're nothing to compare to the original. So
Right.
I mean, I kind of expected that, but I haven't seen it personally.
I would say, from what I've been hearing in online circles, and I've shown the new Borat movie to my friends, and they've loved it. But the thing is, people most of the time would say that Borat 1 is better than Borat 2. I personally disagree. Yes, and like Borat 2 is a lot more political than Borat 1. However, it's political satire. And I think just the way that. The guy who portrays Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't know. I forget his name, but
Sacha Baron Cohen.
yeah, he is just really good at playing this character and being super satirical with America. Even if you kind of disagree with like how it's kind of like left leaning politics, I just think a lot of what happens in the movie is extremely funny, and it was just a super fun journey the entire way.
I like his take on America because he's not American.
Yeah,
but he's not also Kyrgyzstani. I think that's how you say it.
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
Sure.
I know he's from Kyrgyzstan. That's where Borat's from.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it's funny because he's from like England, and he doesn't that's something that's always interested me. I'm like, I wonder how other countries look at the United States.
And so kind of getting his point of view through film is really interesting.
It's not a good point of view, but it is,
it doesn't paint us in the best light, certainly.
No,
if anybody here listening has seen Borat 2, especially the end, I don't want to give any spoilers, but the end makes a really big mockery kind of what's happening right now, and it's super funny. It's also super sad to kind of watch as an American, but it's a really interesting movie all around. So,
also, with films. Looking around at your posters, when is Wes Anderson releasing his new movie? Like, I know I heard about it.
This is one of the most anticipated films of 2020 was The French Dispatch, directed by Wes Anderson, his next film. But the thing is, I think that was slated for this year. Everybody thought it was going to come out, and then COVID happens. It's been delayed indefinitely, I think. Nobody knows when that's coming out.
And I mean, you know what? I am willing to wait because like his movies are great.
Absolutely.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, Life Aquatic, Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
What was the one? Moonrise Kingdom. Those are some of like my favorite movies. I've actually never seen the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at my posters. I have a Grand Budapest Hotel poster in my room, and this man right here has not seen that. That is my favorite Wes Anderson film. It's amazing.
It has some of my favorite actors in it too. It's got what's his name? Is it Adrian Brody?
I'm not quite sure. I need to look back.
I can't ever remember his name. Like I know his face, and then it has Voldemort. I can't think of his name either.
Whenever I think of a Wes Anderson film, I always think Bill Murray. Like that is the first person that comes to mind. Which Bill Murray is great in each and every Wes Anderson film. Yeah. And actually, they put very recently, I think last month, they put The Royal Tenenbaums, they put Life Aquatic, and they put his first film Rushmore all on Amazon Prime. So I just kind of went back and I watched those, and it was really fun. But
Life Aquatic is my favorite movie.
I mean, Life Aquatic is great. I agree. I watched it a few weeks ago. I actually think I was just super tired and I fell asleep near the end. I need to go back and watch it. But it was a great
movies to even do that.
It was a great movie though.
But like Royal Tenenbaums, that's like my family.
Oh
because, like my grandpa was not the greatest guy. I mean, he did crazy things before he died, and like I never met him until I was even 11. So like me and my brother are always like, we're like, oh yeah, look, Mom, we're Ben Stiller's kids. And she's like, you guys are actually right. She was like, Grandpa was not the best guy, and I was like, yeah, he tried to buy our love.
Man, now I'm thinking about there's so many movies that just have not come out this year. Have you heard of Dune?
I have.
That has Timothée Chalamet in it. It has Zendaya in it, and it's like this huge like sci-fi epic directed by the guy who did Arrival and who did Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be really good, and it was gonna come out earlier this year. They were saying October, and then it got delayed to December, and now it's October of next year is what they're saying that's gonna come out, which is so unfortunate.
I mean, I've never seen the original Dune, but I heard that it was not good.
Well, the thing is, right? Dune, this is an adaptation of a sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
But like the first adaptation of Dune, which was directed by David Lynch, which I don't think you've seen any of David Lynch's films, but David Lynch is a crazy man. His films are super weird. They're very dreamlike. They're not in chronological order a lot of the time. They're very weird. And David Lynch's interpretation, the thing is, he didn't really even have control over the first Dune. And he kind of says that it's not his film anymore. But yeah, it wasn't the best, is what everybody says. But getting a new adaptation in 2020, with with better technology to like kind of explain this huge like sci-fi story with these great actors, I think it's going to be a great film.
Yeah.
It just sucks that we have to wait another year for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna put this out there, and I think you know this. Can't stand Timothy Chalamet. I don't know why. He just bugs me. I'm sick of seeing him.
Is it just him, or is it like the fan base? Like
the fan base.
The fan base.
I think it's just like how much he had. Like it's like he's just a guy. He's just an actor.
Women obsess over him. I mean, like they definitely do.
Like I'm not like jealous of him. I'm not like yeah, he's an attractive guy, but I'm not like anywhere near him. I'm just so sick of hearing about him.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
In a way, it kind of reminds me of like how people really obsessed over Justin Bieber back in the day, or you could even say One Direction. It's just kind of now it's kind of going in like the way of like movie actors, kind
Probably,
of with Timothy Chalamet.
Like I'm sure he's a nice guy and everything. I'm sure
He's tired of hearing about him.
But
no, I completely understand. Earlier today, you were talking before you came over to my house. You had to do a bunch of errands and stuff, and you actually told me before we started recording you had a few stories you wanted to talk about. So I'm really interested to kind of hear what that's about.
So my day consisted of I had to go to the doctor because like I've been having this weird problem with my jaw where like it's really sore. And like it's hard for me to eat almost like it's really painful, and it's been like I happened on my right side of my jaw before, and it went away within like a couple like weeks, but then my left side started, and it was like really really bad, like I could hardly eat. And so I went to the doctor this morning, and I get there, and I had like the rudest lady ever. Like she was so mean, like unnecessarily. Like where I'm going there because like I found out that like walk-ins were welcome. So I just go up there and I'm like, I'm here to make an appointment. I said make an appointment. And she's like, okay, well, what's your name? I'm like, Tobias Landreth, because I mean I have to use that. And so she starts pulling up everything. She's like, wait, you don't have an appointment. I'm like, I never said I had an appointment. I was like, I want to make one. She's like, well, next time say that. And I'm like, what? I'm just trying to get in there and see someone. So I finally get back there, and I'm like waiting forever. It's not my normal doctor actually. My normal doctor couldn't see me. So it was this one guy. I won't name him because that would be wrong. But like, I get in there and he starts like poking around my like, jaw and like really rubbing my jaw, and it hurts really bad. And so he like starts joking with me, and he gives me like this prescription of like heavy like headache medicine, I would say. They're not painkillers. I'm not taking painkillers. They're just like they're like a really heavy dosage of Aleve.
Wow.
And so I get the pill, or let me back up. So he gives me that, and he's really weird. And so I leave, and I have to go pick it up at neighborhood Walmart. And so I'm there, and they're telling me you have to wait 30 minutes. We have it done in 30 minutes. So I start walking around, and I'm also having this problem where I think I'm lactose intolerant. And so I had to go find this pill, and like I had to wait 30 minutes. So I'm just looking around the aisle. I'd already found the lactose intolerant pill that I needed. And I'm standing there, and I'm realizing I'm standing there for a really long time around like where there's like laxatives and enemas, and like everyone is giving me really weird looks. And I'm just like, I like realize like there's this same like Walmart employee walking back and forth, just seeing me like checking out the enemas and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go down there and look at some like frozen pizzas or something. And dang, what else was I gonna say? I can't remember all of it now.
I mean, I probably wouldn't want to remember all of that.
No,
now that I'm hearing the story.
Yeah, they tried to charge me like $94 for it, and I was like, "That's not right. I have insurance."
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, I quit my job today.
quit your job today?
Well,
Well, you put in your
I put in my 2
2 weeks
weeks. I
notice.
put in my
Yeah.
2 weeks at Larry's Pizza, as most of you famously know. I work there. Well, I will not soon. I currently work there, but in 2 weeks I won't. And I talked to my manager about it, and she was just like, "Yeah." She was like, "Do what you got to do, man." She was
Hey,
like,
that's good.
"She's like, I totally understand." She's
That's
like,
good.
"But the thing is, she isn't my GM, so I'm gonna have to deal with him for the next couple weeks because
Oh,
he like takes it personally, and it's like nothing against him or anything. It's just like I don't know.
it is what it is, you
Like my
know.
assistant manager is the one I talked to, and she was just like, "Well, if you want to do this, this is your choice. You're an adult." She's like,
Right.
"I don't care." She was like, "I'm not gonna." She's like, "I'd love for you to stay." She's like, "But if you don't want to stay, that's your choice." Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not like you have any sort of, loyalty. I mean, like, yes, you've worked there for a long time, but, the job market is what it is, and you are an
Yeah.
adult, you're able to make your own decisions. So I'm glad that at least your assistant manager, right, understands
Yeah.
kind of where you're coming from with that. I'm sorry, it sounds like you're not going to have the most fun
I mean,
dealing in the next,
it's just
few
gonna be a
weeks,
bunch
but
of jokes and stuff, and I mean, I don't care.
okay.
But yeah.
Nice, man. I was actually, up in North Little Rock yesterday out with my mom, and we went to Target, and we saw a sign $15 an hour at Target now. And we saw this at the Conway Target the other day, but it's just now like, hey, this is like kind of everywhere. Like the Target. Like Target, $15 an hour. That is amazing. So I'm really thinking about,
Yeah.
applying to
Yeah.
Target. That might be the move, especially, with the holiday season, getting all those hours in. Uh, and also, the PlayStation 5 is coming out. I don't know how excited you are for that. I'm very excited for that.
I'm really excited about the PlayStation 5. There is something I know, but I can't say it because it's like it involves my family. It was a secret my grandma made me keep and everything. But just in case, I can't say anything. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've just been reading up on reviews lately. I just like getting everything I can. I know the day it launches, nobody's going to be able to go in store to pick it up is what they've
Oh
said,
yeah, yeah.
but online only. But apparently Walmart has specific times that they're dropping new orders online. So I just got
Oh
to be on my computer ready to put my credit card information in
yeah.
and just get stuff done.
Just wait.
I've saved up for this. I am so excited.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get one till next year.
I mean, that's understandable because I might not even get one, even though
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to buy one because they're having huge stock issues. They can't meet the demand. I
I
mean, the
know.
demand for these new consoles is unheard of.
And also, I don't know about you, but I hate the way that the Xbox S or whatever it's called looks. Why is it a tower? Like
Some people have called it a fridge.
it does. It looks like you have a
fridge.
mini fridge.
Yeah. Here's my thing on the new design for the new consoles. The Xbox, it's the Series X. I mean, like the naming is super confusing. By the way,
Yeah.
if you've involved in gaming at all, the naming scheme is weird. But the Xbox Series X looks just like a really boring kind of like black slab, like a fridge.
Yeah.
And then the PlayStation 5 is huge and looks like it's from an alien planet.
It kind of looks like a wave to me, like a huge like white wave.
Yeah.
Like, meeting and converging.
But the big thing reviewers have said is that the PlayStation 5 is just huge and they're having trouble fitting it places, and just it's really interesting this new generation and how consoles look. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, that's what they did with the PlayStation 4. The first version that came out was like humongous, and then they had like the PS4 Pro, and it was like the size of like an internet router.
Well, I don't know if they were humongous. I mean, they're definitely pretty beefy. The thing with the
Yeah.
PS4 is people called it an eraser. If you look at the original PS4
Oh
design,
no, yeah.
things looks like
I
an
still
eraser.
have the original PS4.
Yeah, and now the Xbox One, meanwhile, was just it was kind of boring. It was just
It was
like
a
this-
box.
Yeah, it was just a box.
Especially if you got like the digital version. It's just a box.
Oh, you're talking about the Xbox One?
Yeah, the Xbox
the new
One.
all digital one. Yeah. And there's the new consoles are digital only versions. There's digital only versions. The Xbox Series S is $299, and that's digital only. And then the PS5 has a digital only version. I think that's really interesting how they're kind of moving in the direction of like online digital only downloads, because I mean that's kind of what PC has been for a while. Is you don't really put in discs anymore for the PC, but I don't know, for like the PS5, I'm gonna buy the disc version. I think because 4K Blu-ray is a huge thing for me now, and just putting that in, I want to enjoy my Blu-ray movies. I've got a huge collection, so. But it's really interesting to see kind of them going in that digital direction.
Yeah.
So I guess our next topic, you were talking, earlier about how like you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. At the time of recording this, I am 17, but tomorrow I will be 18 years old. I will officially be an adult, and it is so surreal to me. Man, I don't know. I mean, how's the adult life been treating you so far?
Um, well, considering I'm still 18 and in high school,
Yeah,
not a lot has changed. Can't really do much.
really.
Like, nah, you can't get nicotine anymore. I mean, I probably wasn't going to. You can't do that anymore. Um, you can't gamble. I thought you could gamble, but you can't.
Really?
No, you can't go to a casino.
Hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, cool. I'd go to a casino and bet like $5 and then go get something to eat. Sure, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
But like, no, you can't. You have to be like 21. So like everything that was like you got to look forward to when you were 18 has now been bumped up to
21.
21. Not trying to downplay being 18 though. I just realized I was being a total downer about it. But like, just like you got a lot more responsibility.
Yeah.
You can sign things now. You don't
Oh
have to be like,
gosh,
"Hey mom,
yes.
hey dad, can you sign this?"
Yeah.
I got to sign a waiver that said I could be in some newspaper for Cabot. I don't know.
Hmm.
And like my mom saw it and she was like, "How'd you get in there?" I was like, "Oh, I signed a paper." And she was like, "Why didn't I sign it?" I'm like, "Because I'm 18. You don't have to sign anything
Right.
anymore."
Um.
I do get more freedom now though. Like
Right.
my mom's like, I don't know how everyone else's parents are, but like mine are like, just don't be stupid because we're not responsible for you anymore.
Right. That's what
You're
my mom's been
responsible
telling
for
me.
yourself.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll still take care of you. She's like, but if you get into trouble, that's like on you.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what my mom told me. Like, if you get caught, out doing something bad, by the cops, I can't help you. Like that's all on you. There's no juvie anymore if you do anything bad. I've never done anything, but I'm just saying, from what I've heard. But also with the drinking thing, I was talking to my mom with that the other day. She is really looking forward to going on a cruise. Now, I don't think personally that we're going to be going on this cruise. It's for spring break because,
Yeah.
COVID and all that, case numbers are only rising. I think they're going to cancel the cruises. But she was saying, if we get to go on this cruise, you're going to be 18. In Mexico, the age, you can drink when you're 18 in Mexico. So she's saying, like, hey.
It's like that, like everywhere almost.
Yeah,
like, I know,
except for America.
every other country, it's like, yeah, 18, sure, do it. But
yeah, but here a lot of things are 21 and over.
United States gotta be a huge buzzkill. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, as far as other things I'm looking forward though to when I turn 18, I kind of really want to get like my first like real credit card. 'Cause I've been looking at because I'm a huge Apple user. The Apple Card, getting cash back on those Apple purchases, and also the like pay per month thing. I think would be nice to have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna have so much more financial freedom with being 18.
Yeah. Like that's actually what I plan on doing too.
Yeah,
Try and get an Apple credit card and get some credit built up. So
exactly.
I can go into college with some credit.
Yeah, that would be nice. And then also maybe the stock market, investing a little bit, because a lot of people have talked about that. And I've been super interested in the stock market from a young age, so I'd like to maybe put my money somewhere in like Apple stocks, for example. In case I see that going up. But I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff opens up to you when you're 18. A lot of stuff doesn't. A lot of the fun stuff seems to not open
fun
up.
stuff seems to like be like
21
It's like you're
and over.
stretched, like you're about to reach it, and then it just like walks away, and you're just like, no, what?
It's just like when I was younger, I would think, when I turn 18, I'm going to go to Las Vegas. I'm going to have all this fun. But reality is, if I'm 18, I go to Las Vegas, there's a lot of stuff I can't do. Because like you said, I can't gamble. I can't drink, probably can't smoke.
No.
Not that I would want to do that. I'm just saying in a fantasy Las Vegas experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, also advice to you.
Okay.
Get your license renewed. I was a day late on mine.
Oh, really? How did that go for you?
I mean, I drove to school with an expired license, and then I realized it, and I was like, hey, I asked my friend, I was like, can you take me to the DMV?
Yeah.
And we went there. They didn't ask me any questions, but like, the DMV was so sad.
Oh.
It's like the lights are gray in there.
Yeah.
It's like everything's just like gray and dark, and they were not happy to be like the workers were not happy
Oh,
there.
absolutely not.
Like everyone's 100% correct on when they describe the DMV.
I have been to the DMV once when I got my intermediate license. This was actually back in February. I was a
Mhm.
little bit late to the driving game, but yeah, we were there for like I want to say like 2 to 3 hours, just like waiting to get called up. They have like a ticket system, and they'll
Yeah.
call like your ticket number whenever they're ready. And it took hours just to get my my card out, my license. And I hated that experience. So I'm definitely not looking forward to like getting stuff renewed for being 18 and all that. But I mean, I guess that's just kind of the process that comes with being an adult.
Yeah.
Something else though that's really cool when you turn 18 is getting the right to vote.
To
So
vote.
this year, I unfortunately, missed that opportunity. I think I was off the deadline by like 4 days, because November 3rd, my birthday is November 7th. We're not going to get too political on here, but
And you know what? I'll just say it.
yeah.
I am 18
Hmm.
and I forgot to register.
You forgot to
So
register
I
to
forgot to
vote.
register.
Wow.
I forgot to sign one part on it, and then I read something that was like the deadline for Arkansas is October 5th, and I was like, ah, crap,
Oh
I can't
man.
do it. And so yeah, I missed out on my first election, but I'm registered now. So
Okay,
next
okay.
election,
Next election you'll
watch
be able
out.
to. Yeah, watch. Watch out. Toby's vote matters.
My vote will trump all's. No pun intended.
um, yeah, I'm really kind of bummed out I couldn't vote this election, but 2022 midterms, 2024, I'll definitely, make sure I'm like ready to vote. I think I'll go ahead and like I guess you can register pretty much any time, right? Is that how it works?
I registered when I got my license renewed. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if you can register at any time. I don't really know.
Okay, well, that's something I guess I got to look into,
Yeah.
But I mean, this election season has been particularly interesting. Um, Things have been super close. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the numbers, but I think me and everyone else have kind of
I
had an election map updating every single minute, just
yeah.
watching votes come in.
I was for a little bit, but then it was more like they were just guessing at what like at the
Hmm.
undecided states, and so I was just kind of like, you know what, this is just gonna psych me out. I don't really want to like watch this. So I was like,
Yeah.
watch King of the Hill, and that's what I did instead. So
Um, I mean, yeah, there's been so much happening the past few days. I remember election night, I stayed up so long because I was wanting to see if we were going to get a result in, and we didn't. They said we wouldn't, but I was still kind of hoping. And then, it just keeps going on, going on, going on. Nevada being very slow to count their votes,
yeah,
notoriously slow.
it's okay,
Um,
Rocky. Take your time.
and then Arizona still waiting on counties there, and Georgia and Pennsylvania. It's just been super crazy, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of people are voting by mail this year, which because of COVID, a lot of people don't want
Yeah,
to, and
yeah,
also the lines I've heard at
yeah.
to vote is not the best. But it's just been a super interesting election season. I mean, do you have any thoughts on just kind of how chaotic things have been?
Uh, I mean, it's been crazy, and I mean, with the day of finding out who our new president would be, or if the same president, it's never been like that. It's always taken a long time to figure out who's going to be our president. So I
Right.
mean, I didn't expect to know on that day, and so like that's why I've kind of I was keeping tabs on it, but then I was like, if people are just gonna be guessing on it and just not giving me an actual report of what's going on, I'm not gonna pay attention to it, and I'll just find out whenever it happens.
Yeah. I think though voting numbers this year especially were really interesting because the person with the most votes ever in history before this election was Obama in 2008 with
Mm-hmm.
69 million, around 69 million votes. And this year, we're still counting votes, 73 million votes for Joe Biden. So he's beaten out Obama by 4 million votes for the popular vote. I think that is just amazing how
Wow.
voter turnout has been this year, even with COVID and everything, and not everyone wanting to do mail-in ballots, because I know the Republican Party, Donald Trump specifically, was very much against his voters voting mail-in. He's always like vote in person, but just the
Mm-hmm.
just amount of turnout, even with COVID, and a major part not wanting to mail-in ballot and maybe caring about COVID, just it's been insane.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe people are just like, I think people are just so bored. They're like, oh man, the election. It's like the next thing they're thinking of
Yeah.
because COVID's probably bored them out of their minds. So they're like, this is how we're gonna get it get our voices out there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, in a lot of states are still stuck at home. I have a lot of friends I talk to, that are in like Texas or that are in
Mm.
North Carolina, and how their school has worked there is they've been pretty much online the entire time, and they've been bored to death. I've got a friend in Canada, but still, very close, who just has a hybrid schedule where she's online most of the time. Sometimes she goes in school, but I know that she's been kind of bored out of her mind. So, I mean, the election has definitely gotten people flared up just because, I mean, a lot of people kind of needed it in a lot of ways, you could say,
Probably, yeah.
because of COVID. But,
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, I think that just about wraps up this first episode of the Backyard Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun talking to Toby today. We're definitely going to look forward to having some guests on the podcast in the future, some friends with some interesting
Yeah.
takes, interesting positions. So,
And if you guys want to reach out to us to be on the podcast, just like anything, we'll make anything. You be on the podcast. We'll help you make a video. We'll help you make a music video. We'll help you start your own podcast.
exactly.
Just contact us. Whatever you want to do, we'll help you with it.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
See you guys.
Spacebar.